Wonderful. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And we have such a beautiful, exciting day because of several reasons, right? One, we have a beautiful guest. And you guys are just going to, I don't know, pure magic. That's what's happening today. Second, it is the Lionsgate. So remember, we did an epic show a few days ago. And after that, I realized why it had to come through several days early because it was so much. There's so much happening, right? So right today we're on the peak of it, 8-8. So we have a lot of infinity energy. And the special thing about 8-8 is the Sirius energy. That's our spiritual sun. So remember, the sun is that energy that lives in our heart, that energy that brings us the golden spiritual sunlight, that energy that fills us up and awakens our kundalini and continues to feed our life force so that we can do the goddess's work right on earth. And the spiritual sun from Sirius is really related to that priestess of Isis, because in the Queen's Chamber, in the Great Pyramid, the shaft comes in from Sirius, and this energy comes in, and it is bringing this blue and purple, beautiful energy that really right now we're calling that queen energy, that energy of remembering that you are the authority in your life, that you're the only creator in your life. And these beautiful spiritual beings from Sirius, this is the wide open moment when they can really come and play with us. There's this open door. We can move through this exchange. So maybe you've been dreaming. We did a huge and amazing process a few days ago. It's down here. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you get on nanakasha.com so that we can keep you updated with everything we're doing, because we're doing more and more events. And these events are not only all over the world, but they're starting to combine the most amazing web of light with more and more sacred wisdom keepers, sacred wise ones in all forms. All of us are awakening right now. So let me say hi to everybody. Hi, Susie. Probably about an hour, 45 minutes. Hi, 70 plus wellness from England. Oh, goody. I'm going to see you soon. Hi, Lisa and Will and Tiffany. Hi, sweetie. Hi, Susan. Oh, Susan, I was using your feather this morning. Susan was here in the Maya land with us, doing amazing ceremonies at all the temples, at the equinox, and she gifted this. So I was thinking about you this morning. We were doing a lot of incense and copal. Hi, Josie. I've been so grateful to listen to that inner calling, daily activations. Oh, good. And what an amazing Lionsgate. I know, right? It is, it's pretty epic, and a lot of people feel bowled over by it. And so the key is go with the flow, right? Receive, thank you, I accept, thank you, and then flow out. Breathe in. I always think about that martial arts idea of you never resist the energy coming towards you. You take it in and then you use it, right? So let this energy open all the doorways. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Tom. Tom from Scotland. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to dive in now, and we have a super special guest. So I'm going to start by sharing. Here we go. Where you can find her and a little bit about her. So one of the best things about this is that Trudy and I met, wow, oh my gosh, like 8 months ago or something. Like, it's really not that long, but it feels like lifetimes. And I remember, I think the first time that I came over and we talked for a while, I said, soul sisters, we're just such soul sisters. And so Trudy is an amazing woman because she's followed her purpose. She didn't know what she was doing or why. She listened to that inner call, and she's lived this amazing, magical life. Of course, I'm super excited because she's here. She lives an hour away from me. She's here in Merida. She's in Maya land, and we're really having a lot of fun coming together, sharing what we're doing. And I'm super excited to share with you. I'm going to show that to you so we don't forget that Miguel Angel Vergara, who is a Mayan priest and a wisdom keeper, and maybe you've heard of. And Trudy, they have a business together, and they're doing an incredible event in December. And I've been invited to be a guest, so I'm going to be there the whole time. I've been getting that question. Yes, I've been be there the whole time, and we'll share more about that and why it's super sacred and why now is the time to join, because it's not going to be like other events where, maybe, right up before. This is something that's really coming together, and the people feeling the call are feeling the call. So this is the one we just did the other day. And also wanted to remind you to make sure that we have a few spots left in England. And if you feel called to that, it's epic. Full moon, lunar eclipse, high moon, private access to Stonehenge, to Chalice Well, to White Springs, doing all this amazing priestess work and embodiment work. So make sure that you check that out or reach out to me. And then I want to make sure you know about something I'm doing on Sunday. So it should be in the link below, or you can go to shop.nanakasha.com. And I've been doing a lot of sharing the divine laws with my classes, with my students, and with those people who want to come to the retreat and manifest. And so what I realized was that there's these divine laws that create a subtle shift that aren't go work harder, go start 10 more websites. We can't do any more of that. It's time to take our actions to be inspired through us embodying who we are, the divine abundance that's all around us, and manifesting, whether it's money, opportunities, friendships, health, beauty, harmony, love, spiritual growth. Okay. All of that is magic. Magic is, and a lot of the ancient Maya that I've studied and read said that they use that word, because it's just basically quantum physics. Okay. It's divine laws. If you understand how the laws work, if you understand how the game works, you can have fun playing the game. And so there's so much breaking down now, freeing us. And this is the time to come back into yourself. So this is really about finding your inner voice, realigning with spirit and your purpose, and understanding you're here on a fully funded mission, that the more you accept who you are, the more you listen to your inner voice, the more you embody that peace that you wish to see in the world, the more that you are supported in every possible way. So we're going to go into 3 divine laws, and you're going to have the recording. And I made it just $3 donation, or you can give more. It's been very fun to see people give, click a few more times on the $3. And it's really about creating flow. I'm going to show you how to bless your money, how to multiply all the inflow and outflow, and start to see it's a currency, it's a money, it's coming from the divine. It is here all around you at any time. Don't hoard it. Don't fear it. Don't blame it. We're going to change all of that so you can actually see what's already here. And coming in September, we are going to have an amazing new experience with 10 or 15 speakers. We're going to talk about the idea of the return of the priestess. That is the everyday priestess. That's you. That's me. That's you if you're in a man's body. Doesn't matter. Okay. Wisdom keeper of the goddess, meaning that, and we'll be talking about this in a second, because I know Trudy and I had this conversation too, that the priestess is really rising. And many of us have been trained as priestesses in this lifetime, and many others. Many people are feeling drawn to the idea of making a more heart-centered commitment to their spiritual path, to remembering who they are, to realizing they made a promise to the universe that their soul is ready. Your soul is ready. My soul's definitely ready, right? For this new world to be birthed. So I so appreciate Chris for this beautiful art that he did. And I said this awakening, this metamorphosis that we're in, is accepting that we have that wisdom within, and we are ready to remember it and be the ones who can carry it. Again, we have to become that authority and step into that agreement. So we're going to have all different kinds of speakers. This isn't for you if you are a priestess or you want to become a priestess. This is the idea of the sacred feminine rising and balancing within everyone. And what's happening that way, we've got just such an incredibly interesting group of people. So our first guest is going to be Lisa Barnett, and you're going to love this interview because she is the Akashic Records knowledge school. And she's been a dear friend of mine for many, many years. And we had such an amazing experience talking about the idea of this and accessing the Akashic records and a lot of other things that is becoming perfectly normal instead of having to go. So, okay, so let's come back to today, and everybody take a deep breath in and feel yourself come into your body, into your heart and your belly, down, down, down into your beautiful sacred center. So I want you to take 3 breaths and take them in slow and deep. And when you let them go, sigh, because you actually relax your muscles 3 times more when you sigh. It's like a chant, it's a vibrational medicine. Ah. And then I want you to use your intuitive guidance and your intuitive vision to just release and to watch it, to feel it. Do you feel heaviness? Do you feel um, warmth? Do you feel a flow? Do you feel lightness happening in your body? Are you realizing that you're distracted? Because I want you to be here now together with us. So let's all now just enter the sacred space and come into this beautiful Lion's Gate. We honor this sacred moment, this beautiful day, and we honor all of the divine feminine energies, the goddess, the priestesses, the medicine women, the enchantresses, the healers, the curanderas, the wise women, every aspect of art and creativity and architecture and astronomy. All of these have been embodied beautifully by the sacred feminine. And that is what wants to speak again. And that is what's invited us today. And we're using this beautiful portal to bring in that lioness energy, to open ourselves to all cat energies. So we'll call in the jaguar, and we'll call in all of the beautiful energies of that idea that we can walk between the worlds and we can open our inner vision. Because that's what this gate is. When these cosmic gates happen, you're being given an opportunity to walk between the worlds. So we have this beautiful heart energy today. We have this beautiful energy of the divine feline, and we have Trudy. So Trudy lives in Merida. I think she's been here for 25 years, if I'm correct. And she was led step by step over a number of years to leave Canada and move to Mexico. Was very magical, and we're going to hear a little more about it. Everything fell into place, and in 2001, she found herself in Merida, Yucatan, started a small tour company, met Miguel Angel Vergara, who's the Mayan priest, and the wisdom teacher, who's just an amazing, amazing, amazing. So we did a show with him. Please make sure you find it here. We're going to be doing more. We're doing the retreat in December with him, and he's coming on our retreat with Maria here in March. So there's going to be lots and lots and lots of that, but I want you to understand how special it is that she was led to start this business in this magical place, you know, with somebody as special as this. Is really, you can tell how the magic is come together, and she's listened and she followed it. So she's been channeling messages from Lady Zac Kuuk. So she's going to explain who that is. This is a high priestess from Palenque. Palenque is an ancient Mayan site very far south of here. We're already talking about putting together a trip for there for many years. She didn't ask for this. She just showed up a little before 2012 and started talking to me. I was honored that she chose me, and I came to realize with the honor came the responsibility to step into the light and share her messages. It was and still is a humbling experience, and she's guided me through some challenging times. Yeah, we'll hear a little about that too. Always lighting my path and allowing me to expand my consciousness and find ways to share her teachings with others. She's created the Maya Wisdom Circle, where members meet online weekly to receive messages or teachings from Lady Zac Kuuk. And she's still working with Miguel Angel, creating sacred journeys, online teachings, and nurturing the Maya Wisdom Circle. So you find her at casaquin.org. And also going, I think I have to go out and then I come back in this system here. And I'm going to quickly show you Trudy's website. And so this, if you go to casaquin.org, you can use the link we have here, or you can go here where it says Sacred Journeys. Hopefully you can see where I am. And you'll see it's the first one on the top. And this is coming up in December. We'll share more today about it. Um, there are some spots left, but it is filling up because this is really a sacred calling. So it's called the Maya New Fire of Chikavan. That is a new era starting in 2027 of great peace potential. We have to be prepared, though, to get into that state of peace. So, and supported by the sacred feminine wisdom. So you can find out all about the schedule right here. And here's Miguel Angel and Trudy and me. And more about what we'll be doing, going to sacred sites, caves with shamans, staying on the beach, doing ceremony every day, sunset, and all kinds of beautiful things, and going to Uxmal, which is the beautiful sacred feminine site. So, okay, good. So all of that. Hi, Brittany. Hi, Tana Joy. Hi, Lisa. All right. I'm going to put that up here just quickly. There we go. Okay, so thank you so much, Trudy.
Thank you. It's really an honor to be here with you today, especially on the Mindscape. It's sort of, for me, the energy has just been amazing, and it actually multiplies my purpose, if you know what I mean. It just sort of clear. It's so bright, it's so strong that it takes everything else away and leaves you with, okay, this is why I'm here, and right here, right now with you, this is why I'm here. So thank you for inviting me.
Yes, yes. I know it's amazing, right? When you sit and you listen to somebody talk about your life sort of in a little capsule, and you're able to give yourself that view of like, wow, that's boy, I'm glad I signed up for that. We all go through our ups and downs. So we will let you share a little bit about some of the things you've been through, because I know this is the time of wounds and traumas and reboots and resurrections, right? And deciding to come back and to stay, and there's nothing wrong with deciding you're ready to leave your body, and anybody, passing on. I know lots of my students have all kinds of people in their life transitioning, and then people like you that decided to stay after you've been through that. So but let's back up first and share just a little bit about how you ended up coming to Mexico, because I love people's journeys to their spiritual path, to look back at it and see how spirit was guiding you.
Okay, thank you. I look back at my life, especially growing up, and I still see it as being so normal and so ordinary that I would never have foreseen where I am and what I'm doing, right? And actually, if I had known what I was going to be doing at that time, I would have said no, because I couldn't imagine that I could actually fulfill this. It was. So I was I was born in Toronto, and I lived in Vancouver. I had some wonderful teachers there, and the spiritual teachers. I was part of a Wicca coven for a year, so that was really exciting. And then, but the spirit world wasn't my world at the time, right? It was calling me, and I didn't really know how strong. At one point, I decided my work was so intensive and that I needed a break, and I took a 6-month break and went to Costa Rica, and then came back to Mexico. Ended up in Merida, and it was interesting that I came here I was going to stay for about 4 days. I stayed for 4 weeks until I had to get on a plane and return to. I had a commitment that I had to get back for. And when I left, I was in tears, and I knew I was going to come back and live here, even though I had no idea how I was going to do that. And it was sort of like fast forward to 9 years later. I had created a company with my partner, who then bought me out with enough money to move. Not enough money to live on here for very long, but I gave myself a year. I knew nobody. I didn't speak Spanish, still don't speak very good Spanish. But the call was so strong that there was no question. It was like all the people, my family and friends, saying I was crazy, and that at 55, I think I was, to do this. It's sort of, but there was no question. This is what I was here to do, even though I had no idea where it was leading me. So I gave myself a year, and I spent the year meeting people, learning the language a little bit, being able to find my way around Merida, and really falling in love with the place again, feeling so attached to Islamal. Like, I know you're so strongly attached to Islamal. It was one of my favorite places. But Uxmal and all the sites, Chichen Itza, it was, even though I didn't really understand it a lot, I decided to create a tour company basically for adults. There were a lot of tourists that come here, but I wanted a tour myself. I was looking for a tour that wasn't just, looking for a sunburn and a hangover. I mean, there weren't a lot of adult type tours, right? Or studios type tours, unless you got into the really tough ones that were just, I wanted to also have fun. So I created this little tour, and I had everything going, except the spiritual side was weak. Excuse me, because that was because I was just learning it, right? I was just learning the Maya teachings and everything, and I gave myself 1 year, and almost to the day, the 1 year was up, I met Miguel Angel. And as soon as I met him, I knew my journey was, my tour, my company was on a certain path. And it's been like that for, almost 25 years. It was 2001 that I came here. So wow. To me, it was like an amazing trip when I look back. And when I was in it, it was just one step in front of, 1 foot in front of the other, making a step forward. No, I never made any great big decisions. It was just, except actually to move here. But as people were telling me I was crazy and that I shouldn't be doing it, I kept thinking, well, I'm Canadian. I can move back there. Canada will take me back. So what's the problem? I'm going to go to Mexico and do whatever it is I'm supposed to be doing. Working with Miguel Angel, getting into it a few years, and then Eric Solis joined us. And Eric was very, very special. Mayan young man who was also a teacher. And the three of us, I think we did some incredible journeys. Incredible people joined us, and some of them are still with us today. I think some of them are going to actually be with us in December when we do. I mean, from 25 years ago, and I'm getting messages from people that I haven't seen for 25 years, and they're still attached and still. It was strong enough. I think that's the energy of the Maya, but also the way Miguel Angel can open that energy up to people. It sticks. It really does reach your heart and stays with you. So unfortunately, Eric passed away, but we had become so close that even the last few weeks of his life or months of his life, it's hard to remember now, we were communicating telepathically. It wasn't in words. It was sort of like, I remember being in the hospital and having a conversation with him, and he was not speaking words. It was just, so telepathy was a big part of it. And I believe that channeling is just a form of telepathy. Like these entities and these guides and that are there, and we have to find a new way to speak to them, because they're not necessarily speaking in words. So anyway, when Eric passed away, he promised us to come back and teach me, continue teaching me, and he did. So to the point where I had to say, "Whoa, let's set up a schedule." And it was almost a year later. he was teaching me almost every day. I was taking messages from him, and he was guiding me, and it was like he was still here. And then he said, I just want to introduce you to somebody wants to talk to you. And he introduced me to Lady Zac Kuuk, the spirit of this Maya priestess, high priestess from Palenque. And came to understand I had a relationship. I had been one of her students in Palenque, and as she tells me, not a particularly good one, but she came back to, and I was back to correct that. The whole thing, the biggest lesson I think I've learned is forget about perfection. You know, do what you can, and if you stumble, well, you just get up, and you need to keep your humor, right? You've got to be able
I
to
love
laugh at yourself. We weren't born, like, Nan, you must realize this too. We weren't born knowing how to do all these things.
no, no,
We
no.
picked up lessons along the way, and
Yeah, I love that. I have to just laugh because, spiritual teachers and mentors from the past and now, and
yes.
all this web that happens as you do this work over time, it becomes, used to be like, oh, my guru or my teacher, and I hope I'm good enough, and can I hear, and all of this stuff, and to now, and I had so many harsh masters show up. I mean, that was my inner thing. I think I had a belief it just had to be that way. But, hey, you were one of my students. You really weren't all that good. But look at you. Now here you are, thousands of years later, being the one that's channeling her. So yeah, I love
Yes.
it.
And we've had a few thousand years of other lives, past lives that we've also learned and grown, so that when we come together again in this life, we're not the same at the same stage as we were then. It was, I think she shared a lot of her um, lives that led to today, right? And one of it's the call. We keep saying we get the call. Well, uh, when I first started talking about these priestesses and the priestess energy, people kept saying, "Oh yeah, but I want to work with the goddess energy," you know. And there was a few years ago that the goddess energy was everything, but then I realized and I was taught that the priestess energy, the priestesses were the flesh and blood workers for the goddesses. So, and the call has been to call us back to that, into this life. And so many of us have had past lives in different, not always Maya, but Egyptian and Greece and all the priestesses from all around the world um, have had training and I believe now that the Maya is sort of the timing is right. You know, the Egyptian energy has been incredible and has taught us a certain part. Now the Maya's turn to bring us back to the heart and to the next level. So
Yeah.
she's been teaching me for, and the way she does it is we worked this out after a few years, is that I sit and meditate. I call her in, and not that she's always with me anyway, but then she comes in and she says, it's like in the middle of a conversation. It's not like she's just starting, oh, hi, welcome, and all this. It's like she's talking to me all the time, and every once in a while, I'm supposed to listen and write it down. So I write it down in longhand, mostly with my eyes closed, often in the dark because it's early morning, and I can barely read my handwriting. But I then type it into the computer, and she's sitting on my shoulder editing as we go along. And I say, I can't make out this word. She just tells me what it is. And she says, what I meant to say was, and it's an amazing process. It's like, uh, you just make mistakes and correct them, or it's like working with anybody who's writing or telling you something. So it was, she did give me a message for you for today. Would you like to hear that now?
Yeah. Let me see. Does anybody have any questions? Pop them in the chat. Um, what I love is I want to just say thanks to Eric. I was
Yeah.
hanging around you, and the process of how we people can get very sad about somebody who's passed on, and yet your
Yeah.
relationships became, like you said, it was almost just like he was still there, and it became even more intense. And
Yeah.
and we've been talking a lot about that in our intuition class, about the telepathic network, so to speak, of humans, and how it's been ignored and turned off, basically, and that these things that are awakening, they have all these different names, but I think what you said is true. It's like all part of this natural system, like the
Yeah.
nervous system or something in us.
Yes, and I think it's such a pity that so many of us are spending all our time trying to find a digital way to do something, or like AI and all of this, for something that we actually have the ability, if we would learn to develop it a little bit, and instead of looking outside for it, because it'll never be as good as this. I mean, they're never going to create a connection with the spirit world that is better than what I've got now, and what you've
Oh,
got,
no,
and
no.
what all of us have if we just open up to it. Yeah.
Well, we have to feel those natural conduits, right? We have to feel our senses. We have to understand
Yes.
what the flavor is for us. So before you share the message, give everybody a little bit of a update on what has happened to you in the last few years, and really how amazing it is that you're sitting here.
Well, after 20 years of everything going along, up and down, we had, and a lot of people following us, and Miguel Angel, such a great teacher, that I was, I was talking about Eric passing as if it didn't really affect me. I was an emotional mess, and without Miguel Angel's help, I don't know how I would have gotten through it. And it was making that bridge between letting somebody go and still having them be part of your life. And so, a couple of, almost 5 years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago, I had terrible pain in my back and my hip, and I fell, and I ended up finally going to the doctors and going through an MIR, and seeing my spine was like a train wreck at the bottom, where all of the cars had fallen apart, and I'm going, oh, okay. So that they basically convinced me that I needed an operation to repair that, and they put in about 8 bars, and the operation was a success. My back is great. I feel strong. However, eh, I can't walk. It was like, so for 2 years, I've been bedridden, and the last year or so in a wheelchair, and trying to get my left leg to wake up and be able to walk again. And it's been just, from the operation, and for the first year or two, there were so many times that I reached the point where I clearly had to choose: do I live or do I let go? And I was in another world at this point, where I had my spiritual group around me, and I had Lady Zac Kuuk, but also Ishmu Kane, who's the Mother Earth, basically, for the Maya, and Ixchel, who is a goddess of medicine and everything. And they're there, and they're telling me they understand if I want to leave this world and join theirs and work from that side. and I was tempted, really tempted, and I was really going, but I need to finish here. And I tell you that the accepting that I'm going to go through more pain and more suffering, and why it was just like, but it was 2 years of almost living in halfway living in another world, so that I wasn't very present. And I still have huge memory gaps in those in the past, especially the first year and a half or so, where I know my brother came to visit, but I can't know where and why. And for some reason I thought I had moved, and I was in a different. I didn't have my map of my house, and I didn't have the map of where my house was in Merida. I couldn't really tell anybody this because it felt like they'll just think I'm crazy. So I'll just keep this to myself and I'll try and figure it out. But honestly, I've been thinking just the last few days, or getting the message that I need to write my story now. I need to write the story of those 2 years and find the help I need to fill in the gaps, because I think it's important. And so just recently, within the last month, the last few weeks, I've been able to, slowly working with a therapist, moving my toes and then moving my ankles and my knee. I've been able to sit up and obviously work in the wheelchair, but now to be able to stand up and with a walker take a few steps. It was just, I was so excited the first time I did that, and I thought, I've got to tell somebody. Right? Felt like, because as a child, you've got your parents cheering you on and making it, but these were my first steps in this new life. And so I'm building on that, and my goal is to not need the wheelchair for December when we're on this journey. And I have every faith that that'll happen, or if not, it's going to be whatever it is. It's one of the lessons I learned is wishful thinking isn't of any value. You can keep the hope and you can keep the goal, but then you just have to take the steps, or the thoughts and the actions in order to make it happen, and not just sit and wait for things to happen. It's just getting back into the Maya wisdom circle was a big step, because I wasn't all there, right? I still had gaps in, and while I was in the hospital, my computer had been stolen, so I was using an old laptop that I had. And also, the world had moved on in those 2 years, and like Zoom had moved their buttons around. All the apps had turned things around and moved. So I was feeling stupid. It was really took a lot of maybe courage is the word to go online again with the Maya Wisdom Circle, knowing that I'm going to keep falling down. But I tell you, after 2 years, to have the number of people that showed up, it was amazing. That they and like I said, some from years before have joined. So there's a real reason for those 2 years, and I'm still finding out what it is, and I'm still working with it. And I'm amazed at myself that in those 2 years, I never really went into a depression. I never felt sorry for myself. I never cried. I never felt less or felt the loss. I always felt grateful. And I think that's why I need to write the story, because to me that is quite amazing that I always chose to be alive. And I've chosen to be part of this world again. So I need to get better at it. Right?
Well, no, you need to be who you are now in it. And that's what's so beautiful, about coming together in these circles and sharing, authentically and vulnerably, not like, oh, look at me, I got $1 million or whatever. Like what really matters is how we take everything that we experience and then decide and make a choice. I love that you were like, it wasn't, I've been through that. I've been through epic, healing, painful, physically, whatever you want to call it, emotionally scary. These experiences, but at the state of bliss, like literally just going, "This is the greatest thing ever," because I know it's a spiritual upgrade. I know I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm not making the pain or what happened mean anything, other than it is.
Yeah, I never identified with the pain, and that it was something that was okay, just in the way, right? It was just part of what was happening, and
Well,
yes, I always felt that I was being reshaped or re wired, right?
right. Yes. And we are. So it's amazing too. And we're just so grateful every time that somebody, does this, like you choosing that is not only giving that into the Akashic records, into the field for everyone else to have that courage, or to know you have a choice, or to follow your spiritual path, or, to
Mhm.
know that, you're divine. I really laughed when you said that it was literally like a year to the day when you said, I'll give myself a year. And then you met Miguel Angel, because in some of my classes, we're literally talking about our delay language, like how we put time. That's kind of what we're programmed to do. And I thought, well, you told them I'll give myself a year, and then they said, okay, here you go. But
Right. Yeah.
but even how we met was so amazing, because I know that I had seen you guys about 5-6 years ago at the same hotel, my retreat, yours, and the equinox is something. And I remember I'd heard of Miguel Angel, but we were just doing this, and over 10 years being here. And all these things came together. Again, this spirit guidance thing happened to me when I got back from England last year. And it was actually really interesting. I was asked to lead a group that he was going to lead, because they hadn't, had been something, and then they said, "Oh no, it's okay, he's here." But that was like, oh, that brought him up in my consciousness. That brought, like, you know what? I should look this up. That's coming back now. And so you don't know how that's gonna, like, why did that happen? And things. And then when I reached out to you, you hadn't rebooted your business yet. Like, you were just coming back together. And it
Yes.
was, and I was like, I don't know how to get a hold of these people, And it was this interesting thing where now I look at knowing you, is how our paths were just being, like this, like coming together from these places, even though we live an hour away from each other and we've been going and doing so much similar things. It's easy to say, why did it take, I've lived here for 6 years near Merida, why didn't I meet someone earlier? Well, you were doing your thing for the last 2 years.
And the truth is, we weren't ready.
You
You know,
were.
once,
Yeah,
if we had met 5 or 6 years ago, it wouldn't be the same,
yeah,
right? It's like
exactly. Yeah.
I think, and you were part of my inspiration to actually get back to the circle, and thank you for joining the circle. Appreciate you being there. It's growing and it's strong, and I'm getting a strong message from Lady Zac Kuuk to she was talking about growing the circle, and I thought, well, it's a nice circle the way it is, the numbers and that. And she says, not the numbers, growing deeper into the purpose and into the what this and the power of the circle. So that's going to be interesting to see where that goes.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, so once again, I'm going to just quickly share. So before you share your message, why don't you talk a little bit about December? The inspiration for it, a little bit about what Miguel Angel shared, but like, what do you see? What do you feel? What is Lady Zac Kuuk calling?
Well, I found that Lady Zac Kuuk was really calling me to say, and I started the circle and I'm doing the online stuff, but I knew that she wanted a tour, a physical, like for me to physically visit the sites again, especially Uxmal. And so I put it off as far as I could, like to December, with the hope that my healing would be quicken up, and it is. Um, and Miguel Angel had been talking about the sacred fire, the sacred new fire of Chicaban. And it was interesting as I was going through some old files in my computer of Lady Zac Kuuk messages, and she was talking about that about 3 or 4 years ago, just after the pandemic. She was talking about the new fire and the era coming up. So it just clicked together that we need to get ready for this uh, era that it's play these 52-year cycle, right? It's the 52 years, and the Maya new fire is really about letting go of the old and seriously getting rid of the old, and then Phoenix rising from the ashes, moving into this era of harmony and peace and a kinder world, a world that the world that we're trying to create, and having the opportunity to do that with the energy being supporting us. And I think the energy has been supporting us to let go of a lot of things. Now we're looking at it's a different kind of energy. It's an energy that's going to move us forward. It's going to support us in our better lives and our better future. And really to prepare for that, because I keep asking, well, why haven't we done this before? And she said, it's all happening because of the rise of the sacred feminine, which all of us have been really a part of. And it's sort of, we've been working so hard at trying to raise the sacred feminine that I don't think we've realized we've actually done that. The sacred feminine is here now. We can start looking at ways of how we're going to use it, right?
Yes, yeah. Let's dance.
This mindset that the sacred feminine, we've got to keep moving it forward. No, it's here. We just need to use it, and this era is a way to do that. So in December, we're thinking of, and basically I wanted to just call the priestesses, the priestess energy. So it's in men and women, of course. So to come together at this point of time, it's like a hinge of history, where the things just move, and I want to be there, and I want to be there with people who can talk about that, and actually we're drawing some of some very powerful priestesses, so that it's and some of them are new and don't even know how powerful they are. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to be doing, first of all, we're going to be staying 5 days on a beach in Campeche, and it's an incredible hotel. And from there, we'll visit Edsna, which is an amazing site. And we're also going to visit, at the end of it, Uxmal, which was the Maya Sacred Feminine University. So it's where the priestesses graduated and went out into the world. And so it's where the circles were created, and the circle of fire is really strong right now, and that's the one that's leading us forward. So we're going to have a wonderful journey. It's because a lot of the journey is, of course, is going to be inside. We'll be doing a lot of ceremony. We start off in a cave with an ancient Maya cave that has seen so many ancient ceremonies. It actually has glyphs on the ceiling that's way up there. It's a cathedral high ceiling, but you can see them, the original paintings from the Maya times when they did ceremony there. And of course that energy has stayed, because it's not like it's a widely known cave. It hasn't had tourists passing through it all the time and changing the energy at all. It's still very, very, very powerful. And we're going to have Miguelito join us. He's a local Maya shaman that does a powerful ceremony with Miguel Angel. So welcome everyone, anyone that wants to come, you're welcome to come.
And you'll have a whole day at the beach. We'll be doing ceremony with Miguel, a whole day with me, a whole day with Trudy. We'll all be coming together. You know, this is a created circle, really. It is. So if you do feel the call in your soul, when you go to the site, the page, you just fill out the form. All you do is just send your name to Trudy, and then she'll get in touch with you. You know, to see if it's the right thing for you, and all of that. So, yeah, and I did once we decided to do this. Chris and I went down to the hotel. It's outside of town. It's not near anything else, and you're just right on the beach. And some of you who know me may have remembered the turtle that flipped over on the beach when I was staying there, and we helped the turtle go. So it was beautiful. I barely slept because of the ocean and the moon and the beautiful beach. It's protected, and then you see the sunset. It's just got all that energy, all that medicine, and it's just a really beautiful, relaxed place. So wonderful. Okay, so everybody ready for our message? I put in the chat the link for the wisdom circle, and again for this, but if you do go to casaking.org, you'll find all of that.
Yes, and the wisdom circle meets weekly on Wednesdays, and to support it, it's like $15 a month, so it's well worth it as far as how much time you get with us. Right?
Yeah.
And I of course pass on her message. Miguel Angel comments on it, and Nan, you're often there to comment as well as the other women and men in the circle. So everyone's welcome. We really look forward to seeing a few more people join us.
Yeah, and you'll like them. If you're like my stuff, you'll like the messages. It's that's one of the things I love is it's all about harmony, beauty, and support, and you know you can do it, and you know what to do next, and not in a superior way. Such a beautiful, loving way. Such a beautiful, loving way.
Yeah, and the message today, she's really addressing something that is. I think on a lot of people's mind right now, a lot of people's concerns. So,
Okay.
We just start?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, if you just close your eyes for a moment and let's bring in the priestess energy from the ancient Maya priestesses. Call on Lady Zac Kuuk to join us. Thank you, Lady Zac Kuuk, for your messages, for your guidance, for lighting the way. Take a deep breath. Lady Zac Kuuk. You came into this life with the tools to thrive, to meet all challenges, to move through them with grace. You chose this time for the opportunities it would present. You chose this time to help with the evolution of humankind and Mother Earth. You do this through your thoughts and actions, guided by your heart. Your love for Earth and for humankind opens the door to right actions, to the kindness, compassion, to the compassionate leadership required today. Leadership. Humankind is crying out for leadership, to be led into a more kind and loving world. A leader you can trust, someone who knows where she is going and how to get there. A leader who is wise, strong, peaceful, and at the same time kind and considerate. You need leadership that you can depend upon, leadership that is fueled by love and compassion. You keep looking for it out there and are disappointed time after time. Your system out there is corrupted with ego, with greed, self-importance, perceived power, intoxicated with power. This is not the leadership you want. This is not the leadership to help with the evolution of humankind and Mother Earth. Many, if not all of you, can see that now. Many of you are still paralyzed in fear, hoping it will get better, praying for a leader you can trust to rise up and take charge. And many of you who are here today listening to my words have found that leader and are learning to follow. This leadership you are searching for resides within your heart. Put aside this fear that you are not good enough. Not good enough for what? You have only to do your part and do it the best you can. Not perfect, the best you can. Don't tell me you aren't good enough. The fact you are here at this time is proof enough that you have a contribution to give for the evolution of humankind and Mother Earth. I know I keep saying this. It is because you really need to hear it. Evolution brings change. With change comes chaos. You, each one of you, needs to supply the leadership to lead you through the chaos to a higher state of consciousness. This leadership comes from within. You are learning to follow it. It is not always easy. The steps don't fit in the old system. They haven't been taught by the society you grew up in. The schools, churches, government have been teaching the status quo. You have been hearing all your life to follow the rules and just work harder, be better, but stay within the parameters of the system. Leadership in the current system never let you even consider creating a new system. But that is what you are doing, working outside the system and creating one to support the evolution of humankind and Mother Earth. By raising your consciousness, you are turning away from the traditional leaders, from the government, from the churches, from the old ways of not only thinking, but the old ways of acting. If you remember your power base is in your heart, you cannot go wrong. Sure, you'll make mistakes, but they will teach you how to move forward. Remember, you are forging a new path. It takes humility to be a truly powerful leader, to constantly accept corrections to stay on course. Humility is a hard one for humankind because it's been so misunderstood. To be humble is to be strong, strong enough to acknowledge you are a part of something much greater, to know you are connected to the Creator, the Source, and that connection is maintained through the heart. This is why the Maya priestesses and priests did the ceremonies and rituals. It was in humble recognition of gifts from the heart of the sky and the heart of the earth. They understood their achievements were supported by a more powerful force. They understood they were part of this force, as was nature and all living things. They lived in community with all living things, with them, not apart, with them in peace, love, and gratitude. This gave them comfort, peace, and incredible strength. When you learn to allow your heart to lead, amazing new teachers, guides, even leaders appear. You will recognize a heart connection and know who to trust, who to follow, and even more importantly at this time, when to step up and lead yourself. There is one area of your life, one time in your life, when you must take the lead. Allow your heart to tell you when that is, and then lead with kindness, love, and compassion, never in frustration or anger. You are in the middle of this evolution, so it's hard for you to see the whole picture. Can't see the forest for the trees. And maybe you don't even need to see the whole picture. What is important is to clearly see what is right in front of you. This is the area you are needed in right now. Remind yourself there is more to see, more to understand, but don't panic, don't get lost, don't give in to confusion. Trust your heart to lead you through one important step at a time in Lakesh.
I clicked the wrong button there. Oh, wonderful. Wow, I was just over here. Everything, this is true for, all your messages that, in the wisdom circle, they're so timely, they're so relevant to current situations.
Yes.
And what I would call advanced in the simplicity, that
Mhm.
it's time to stop chasing things and trying to figure it all out and figure out who did what and all the rest of it and come present. Even like what you said earlier about the priestess, the sacred feminine's here already. It's like
Yes.
it's here. There's a lot of that energy this year because it's that year of the snake, and there's that shedding energy. And people, we have all the energies happening, all the things happening in our lives that are shedding. And what's been coming up this summer has spirit is saying, look at what you shed and take the pants off. It's like dropping your pants and then trying to walk around with them around your ankles, like you shed it, but you're still attached to it or thinking about it or maybe thinking from it or something like that. So that idea of like realize it's here, let go of the old coat too, and that we're creating this new world and it's not really something we have to know the blueprint for, right? Like we're in the middle of it. It's taking form. It's taking shape.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Beautiful.
we choose who our leaders are, who we're going to follow. And if it starts with the leader within your heart, you're going to go and we're going to create an incredible world.
Yeah. And I think that if you go at things from a logical perspective or you start to, study or listen to different experts, what are we going to do about the pollution? What are we going to do about this power problem? What are we going to do about that problem? That's just overwhelm. And we've been told by spirit forever, you're not the one to figure out how. You couldn't
Yeah.
possibly figure out how. Let's leave that to spirit, and so instead of the overwhelm staring at it like how do we fix this, this is just let's turn around and start a whole new painting. Let's start writing a whole new book. Let's create something for us to step into. And there's the not knowing what it's going to look like, like coming the little baby, even when it's born, it doesn't look like that.
Right. Yeah.
Up too. So wonderful. Yes. What time and day is the circle meet?
It's 10 o'clock Mountain Time, so that would be 10,
It's 11.
11 o'clock Central Time.
Yeah. On Wednesdays.
On Wednesday. And there's a replay, a video, so people who miss it. I got a message from someone today saying, because I hadn't seen them in the circle for months, and she said, I watch every replay. It's just she's not available at 10 o'clock in the morning. So,
Yes.
yeah, so there's the different ways to participate.
Yeah, it's on Zoom, and so then you can get on through your phone or your and you get the replay too. Susie said, "Thank you, Trudy. Divine timing." Celeste is here. Hi, Celeste. Wow, yes, she said. And hi, Mark. Who else is here? Thank you guys so much. Isn't this wonderful? Oh my goodness. I am Cindy. Oh, I am Cindy O.
That's Cindy O'Donnell, right? Hi, Cindy.
Love you, Trudy. Thanks for fighting to stay with us. You look and sound awesome.
She's one of the people that was with us 20 years ago,
Wow.
Cindy. So, they hang around, and it's always good to hear from her.
Yeah. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, all of you is now wonderful. So, you're so welcome. Thanks, Susan. Thanks, Celeste. Lady Zac Kuuk. Kuun. Is it Kuun or Kook?
Kuuk, yeah.
Kook. With a O-O-K or U-U?
UUK.
U-U-K.
Although she told me one time, you can call me whatever you want. You can spell it whatever way you want. That's not what I'm teaching.
I love it. So, okay, wonderful. Is there anything else that you want to share before we close?
Oh, just thank you and thank to your group, and hopefully we'll see some of you in December. Just the idea, Miguel Angel has promised a true fire ceremony, which is we did one once in Tikal, and it is amazing. So that's something to look forward to.
Yeah,
Thank you.
the
And
Mayan fire ceremonies are quite famous. That's something they do. I know in Guatemala they have like altars all over the mountains that people go to do these ceremonies. Lots of gratitude, lots of releasing.
we started this ceremony, started setting it up, and it was right in Tikal between the two main temples. And as soon as we formed the circle, all the children, the Guatemalan children that were on the site, all came in and just joined us. Like they were just so ready for
Oh,
ceremony. It's
yeah.
the world is really incredible, and I'm so glad to be part of it. And you all of you are really helping make it real for us.
Definitely, definitely. And the other thing that I feel it's important to say is we're watching a lot of things happen in the world that look like things are getting worse. You know, there's more rules, there's more restrictions, and I know here there's less pyramids we can climb at the moment. There's less access we can get to certain things. It's happening in other countries as well. However, I truly believe it's sort of a breathe in until
Mm-hmm.
we breathe out because in Guatemala it's in the constitution now that the Mayan elders are allowed to do ceremony at their own sacred sites, whereas here it's illegal to for pre-Hispanic ceremonies and music at the sites. But I just don't feel like that is going to stay. I think there's going to be a surprising shift, and that's what we're doing. Everything we do is going into the current and sharing into the world in whatever way that energy can be
Yeah.
used.
Yeah, and I think the restrictions in that for climbing and to going in the temples and everything, part of that is again training us to use our not just our physical bodies, but to use our other gifts and enter the pyramid in spirit and climb that pyramid and actually be there. Because many people will climb up there with their bodies, but in spirit they're not even present. It's just like, oh wow, what a view. So I think it's teaching us a few things as well.
Yeah.
So
Plus,
yeah.
there's something that happened. I know I was living here during the pandemic, and I was super unhappy not to be able to go to the pyramids because I go to them all the time. However, I was tuning into them almost daily, like
Yes.
going out to Mayapan, going to Uxmal, going to my places, and they started to come alive. They got rest. They got rejuvenated. The spirits came back. Priestesses came back. So many of the energies got a chance for reboot as well. And that may be what's part of us happening right now with us not going in these temples when we actually have risen to the state of consciousness and we're ready, maybe in a year or two, we could start to see that. So
Yes.
I also want to do one more thing. I would like everybody who's still here, for all of us to just take a moment and send our gratitude and our love to Trudy and to see her walking in December at our
Thank you.
beautiful retreat.
Yes.
All right. So we're going to just send great gratitude. We give great gratitude for this sacred gathering, for Trudy, for Lady Zac Kuuk, for Eric and Miguel Angel and everyone, all the beautiful people here. Thank you. And thank you to Ishal and Ishmukane. And thank you to all the Mayan priestesses and the Greek and the Egyptian and the Incan and every one of those beautiful spirit guides that are here, the totem spirits, the animals. Let us all come together and honor this beautiful woman who's here now to bring us these gifts. We thank you. We see you in perfect health, glowing. And we know that infinite abundance and supply is flowing to you, through you, and from you. May it multiply for the greatest good and benefit for all of us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And may this circle be open, yet unbroken. And this beautiful message and all of the energies we've received and released be honored and come with us with every breath and every step. Have a beautiful Lionsgate. Please share this with everyone. It's 12:12, so what a perfect time to come up. Okay, thank you, Trudy. Thank you, everybody. Love you
Thank
so much.
you. In Lakesh.
In Lakesh.